Welcome back at the paddock today. I've got yesterday's parts haul that we shot some video of, and we're taking advantage of the weather today because it's a little warmer. So we're gonna spend the day in here doing some welding, and then I'm gonna show you what two inner door skins that probably should have ended up in the garbage look like with a little bit of dressing up. So join me today for another exciting episode of Tin Horse Restoration. Auto parts delivery man this morning, and I'm out on my warehouse run on a lovely, beautiful Thursday morning. Oh look, there's an interesting sign. Dashing through the snow. I just love winter. It's my favorite time of year. You know, I probably gotta go in the truck later today and pick up. Whoa, stock order. Did I shake my kidneys? Whoa, that one hurt. I was thinking about singing Christmas carols, you know. Okay, here we are. We're in the house at the kitchen table where it's much warmer. And what I've got here is a door skin, a deluxe door skin. So this is one of the upgrades that you get as an option on the Mustang for 71 to 73. And someone carved a hole in the door and put speakers in. So a lot of people would take this and chuck it and say it's not worth it. But here's the key, and this is what I wanted to show you here. See the armrest? There's no holes in it. Now if this armrest was pooched and full of holes, then we would be I left the dirt and everything on it because I wanted to really give you a sense of this has been sitting in the garage for quite some time. I don't know where I bought these. Probably bought them at the Barrie Flea Market years and years ago, and probably paid next to nothing for them. Anyway, we're gonna repair this, and we're gonna save ourselves quite a bit of money by doing that. These with the holes in them like that, you can pick these up fairly cheap. And not only are we going to fix this up, but we're going to modernize it to some degree. There's a little dent here that will come out with the heat gun. It's been sitting with something on it for a long time. So I turned her over, and these little tabs are the first things that we bend up, because this is how the wood grain panel on the other side is held in. So let me get these all up, and I'm going to show you the little thing that we're going to be doing here. We're going to try and modernize this door skin by adding a little 2025 flair to it. Nothing resto moddy or anything like they say. Just something that brings the car. You know, nothing says I'm a cheesy 70s product like wood grain. That's the word I'm looking for. Wood grain. Anyway, I push those up now, and let me, I can't do this with one hand, so let me pry this off, and then I'll get back to you in a second. Okay. Got myself. I'm in the kitchen, so I just grabbed a knife. There, let's pry that up, and you can see how the teeth just go through and bend. It's just cheap tin. So there's that, and then there's a couple more pieces. Need to remove it, but I popped. Same setup on the chrome strip along here. That's all pried up. Without damaging anything. Hang on one sec. Okay. There we go. Got her out. All his teeth are still intact. There you go there. So we'll throw that aside. And now it's a lot easier to peel up this cardboard. Now what's got to happen here is, and what we're going to do is we have to go around and pull that rolled over lip. See, this is all stapled and glued. So we've got to pull all those staples and then we can peel that whole carpet bit off. So let me get at that. All right, pulled all the staples, got her out. There's the piece, and you can see how it's just like a cheap vinyl that they curl or they back sew it down here first. You'll see the stitches through there, and then they fold it over, wrap it around, and staple it. No glue at all. So there's two ways you can do this. If you wanted to go back to the original, we could just get ourselves some carpet, sew a new strip around the edge, and put her back on. But I'm not going to do that. We're going to get a little fancy. So we've got some things we got to deal with here. This is broken down through here. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. Broken right off. We've got this hole to fill. Because even though that's meant for speakers, we want to fill that back up. And then we've got this corner has gotten wet or has been banged on the ground and it's gotten punky. And we need the stiffness to come back into this. So what we're going to do is we've got some supplies to buy. So I'm going to be getting onto that tomorrow and finishing this up tomorrow. But we're going to fiberglass this bottom section, which will solve any dampness issues or anything we have in the future. Not that they're going to get wet, but you know what I mean. And but for the meantime, what I'd like to do is I'm going to show you a cool little thing that I'm going to do to that door trim piece that we took out. So hang on. Okay, there's our door trim piece. It's got some gunk on it here. Clean off, but there's no big dents in it or chunks missing or anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a little scrub down and I'm going to clean it up. And then we're going to get rid of this wood grain and we're going to replace it with a carbon fiber wrap. Now I've never wrapped before, so this will be new for me, but watch the video, it'll look pretty easy. So let's get at her. Okay, there you go. I cut it, I just rough cut it around and I put it on and I started to heat it with my trusty Wagner heat gun. And I realized I don't have a blade. So I've got to pick up some supplies early tomorrow morning, some fiberglass, and everything else I need to get this thing back together. I think I have everything else. Probably just, I need some of those little crafty triangular blades that I can zip around here with. I don't have any of those. I don't know why. I've got big blades and box cutters and everything else, but I don't have any of those fancy little blades. So we'll heat her back up tomorrow. We got a couple of I got a bubble there. I gotta get it, and we'll get her cut. I gotta clean up some of that black paint that's scuffed off of there. A little steel wool on the chrome, and we should be as good as new and ready to go. So I gotta get some shut-eye, and I'll see you in a couple of seconds. Oh, jingle bells, jingle bells. Hey, it's a tin horse restoration Christmas. I'm out being festive. Auto parts delivery, man. And I'm trying to get into that holiday season. Yeah, why not? I gotta do this. I gotta drive in this godforsaken, miserable weather, so I might as well make the best of it and spread a little joy and cheer. That's my goal for today, to make everybody as happy as I possibly can. So where are we at? Well, I thought I'd just quickly, I don't do anything quickly. Anyway, I thought I'd give you a rundown. As you can see on this episode, we've gone indoors because the weather outside is not really conducive. You think I'm better hanging to the right or hanging to the left? What do you think? Well, I like it to the left. Okay, so I know. Okay, so yeah, so where are we at? Holy jumping. Oh, look out the rear view. Because that's what the front looks like. Oh, there's a guy in the ditch. Yeah, you'll see him in a second. Look at the rear. Yeah, he's in the... Oh, no, you barely saw him there. It's one of those Sprinter delivery vans, and he's about 8 feet into the snowdrift. Well, that's a fun Friday. Yeehaw! Okay, so we've got inside with the door panels. Hope you enjoy this video. And there'll be a lot more indoor stuff coming up. And I'm just going to kind of, I'm going to do what I can out at the paddock. And when I've got enough for an episode, you'll get it. And when I'm not out at the paddock, I'm going to be back in the house and in the shop at home, working there. We've got seats to upholster. We've got smaller parts to take apart, clean, repair, paint, put back together. We've got some sandblasting to do. And we've got a motor that's got to go into the SN95. Yeah, one day, it's only been 2.5 years. I'm sure one day we'll get her running. Kinda. Sort of. I hope. Anyway, that's what you're gonna... So, I mean, we've got about, 10 more weeks of this. Up here it's a crapshoot. The beginning of March, winter can be over and things starting to melt, or we can be getting snow in April. It's so hard to predict here. But anyway, definitely, it'll be mid-March before we get back into the pluses, even occasionally, so that we can get back at the paddock and get at her. Because we really need to get at her with Bruno, trying to get Bruno caught up. Oh, one thing I wanted to touch base. I've had a couple people say to me, Colin, you have a trunk floor. Why are you messing around with Bruno's trunk floor? And here's the deal. We already know that Marvin needs an entire trunk floor, needs two, needs the drop downs done and everything on the quarters, and it needs two complete floor pans put into it. It's not much worse than Bruno, but because it's already been repaired once. But I want it to go back to looking nice, because although there's not a lot of holes in it, it doesn't look nice. Somebody back in the 90s did a repair, and they did the best they could, and it's lasted a long time, but it looks like crap. So the whole idea with Marvin was to bring it back to its former glory by putting full floor pans in and a full trunk in. So I figured, since I was doing that to that car, and that's going to be coming up in the spring, whenever we can get at her, we got to get the 95 out of the garage, and then once we do that, we'll get Marvin into the garage, and then we can get Marvin up on his side, getting tipsy, and then we'll get at her. But I didn't want both cars to be exactly the same. Anyway, nothing interrupts a segment worse than bad road conditions. I gotta tell you what I'm looking for. Oh, the other thing we're looking forward to for March is we got the big car show up here in March. I don't know what it's called, Motorama or Speedorama, or I forget what it's called. Oh, jeez, I should know that. Anyway, it's they have it down by the airport at the International Center. It's technically the Toronto International Airport isn't in Toronto. It's in Mississauga, which is a suburb of Toronto. And I'm not going to get into all the complexities of these crazy things. Anyway, I think there's like five big buildings out there that are all kind of joined together, and that's where we have a lot of conventions and that kind of stuff, where we're not going downtown, and because they do the new car auto show downtown, and I'm so fed up with going downtown because it's such a pain in the, I stopped going. It really is. It wasn't worth $40 to park the car and blah blah blah. Anyway, we still have a classic car extravaganza to celebrate. That's coming up in March, and I was toying with an idea for that, but we're not quite there yet. So I might have an announcement coming in the new year. But anyway, I'll come back later and wish y'all a Merry Christmas. You think left or right? Left, right. All right. First time ever wrapping with the carbon fiber, and first time wrapping. I don't know. I think that turned out pretty good. Eyesight's not the greatest, so cutting along the edges. I got that little paint doohickey thing I gotta fix there, so I'm gonna have to mask that off and tape all the way around and blah blah blah. But anyway, I like that a lot better than wood grain. I'm not hating on the wood grain, for the purists out there. I completely understand. It's just, that's not my thing. So that's not what I'm doing. All right. Okay. I glued the front to the back, and we've got them all set up here in the sewing machine. And I'm just going to give you, let's try this. I'm going to give you a quick little So I'm stitching along this edge that goes underneath the chrome strip. So this is a walking foot machine, and it's called that because the needle goes through in the 2 feet walk to pull the material through. Let me finish up and I'll show you as we go along. All right, well, we've gone around and we've stitched on our kind of, our fold-over material. I've got some thin artificial vinyl that's got a fabric back that's stretchy. So this is ideal for that. And then I just ran a seam along here that's going to go underneath the chrome. So we're kind of all set here. We do have some wrinkles and stuff in her, but that's because the back's stiff and the front's not. And once we stretch it around, those should all pull out and look nice and pretty. So that's the sewing for now. And let me go put her together. Just one last thing here, if you're wondering how come you know how to sew and everything, right? This will be my only hint as to why I know how to do all this, because it has nothing to do with cars. So I'll insert a little picture here. Oh, and another picture here. And one last picture here. Okay, there you go. There's your, you can do your, if you don't know what that is, because you're not a big hockey fan, you can do your homework, and Google's your friend, and you'll figure it out. But anyway, that's about all I'm going to talk about with my past life. On to the car stuff. I've got the heat gun running because I just took out that bump that we had. There's an incident still there, but it'll soften up with time. So I took the heat gun to the back, and then I was very careful on the front. But we got most of the hump out. I think as it starts to relax and cool back down, it'll probably come out completely. You just got to be careful. Don't put too much heat on them. But it's like everything else, a little patience. And you're there. So I'm going to start fiberglassing now. And we'll get at her. Okay, so what we've done is we've clamped the door skin onto this piece of 3/4 inch plywood. And we've put plastic underneath. And the reason that we've done that is because we have to get it perfectly flat and build it back up, put some strength back in it because it's gone punky. And we've got to repair this broken end right here. So what we're going to do is we're simply going to staple it to the board. I'm going to go around, and because I don't think I can do this. There we go. Okay, so we got that all flat. We're going to come down here. We've got a little bow in it right here. Put one there, and then three there, one here, and one there. Okay, so what that's going to allow us to do now is remove our clamps, because we can't get our fiberglass on here with our clamps on here. So other than right here, let's do one right there. Okay, that's us. We're good and flat now. Put one here. Got a little little bumper here. All right, that's her. She good and flat all the way along there, flat at the front here. So let me get set up for our next step. Okay, so what we've got here is we've got some cheap brushes. We've got some resin that we mixed up with some hardener. And we're gonna try and get it only on the door skin. And the reason that we're doing that is because we don't want this stuck to the plywood, although it's going to anyway. Just noticed something going along here. We've got this little lips up a little bit. So we're gonna do this and gum up our stapler. There we go. All right. So this is the front side. This is the good side. We don't want any big humps and bumps in this side. So what we're gonna do here is try and keep the top, we're gonna do multi-layers here. So the top layer we want flat and then without any bumps or anything. So we're just doing a coat here. This is how I do it. You can do it whatever way you want. My whole goal here is to make sure I get in all the little nooks and crannies, because even without the glass on here, this resin, along with this cardboard, will harden up. Okay, so let me get the glass in place. Okay, I just laid it on top, and now we're gonna make sure that we get good penetration. We're gonna go back over it with some more resin. And we're gonna be generous here. Get that all in our nooks and crannies. Make sure that we don't have any air pockets underneath this. Air pockets are the enemy. So if you're going to be generous with a layer, this is the layer that you be generous with. Now, what's going to happen here is we're going to have to I'm going to shut up and work on doing this, and I'll do my voiceovers later. Let's try something new for a change. So since we have a weakness in both corners, I've taken an extra piece and laid it on top, and the same down on this end. And we're gonna apply the remainder of the resin onto those. Get them nice and smooth. Make sure nothing's popping up. Now remember, if you do get some lumps in this, it's sandable, right? We can sand it out. Okay. And what I realized is, in my haste to shoot this video, I have made a tragic mistake. And I was supposed to put some parchment paper with some wax on it, or some wax paper, underneath this door skin between the wood and the door, so that the resin didn't penetrate through and stick to the plywood. I don't know why I forgot that step. We'll do it when we flip it over, but this was the important time to be doing it, and of course I didn't. Okay, we're going to be really generous with the resin down here in this punky corner. We want this to be thick. We want it to be sandable so we can flatten it out. And because that was our bad spot. So we want to be able to deal with that. The same down here. I'm going to take a little bit of resin I had left. So I mixed about 6 ounces to do that front side. And that worked out perfectly. So I guess really good. So if you're doing yours, you don't know how much to use. At least I've helped you in that manner. Okay, that's all our extra resin. So we've got our brush. It's time to let her dry. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We got drips on the door. That's something that needs to get dealt with immediately. Okay. All right, my little spillage is just drying now. I cleaned it up with a little rubbing alcohol. No big deal. All right, so we got a good little puddle going here that should repair that crack once we get it from the other side too. We're gonna fill in that speaker hole with a little bit of foam. And we're all the way down here, and then we got a big puddle in the corner here that we tried to goop on, so we've got some more strength in the corner. So we're just gonna let that harden. It's gonna take about 2 hours to start to firm up. And then I'm gonna come in here and try and pry it off the plywood. So it shouldn't be a problem at all. But we may have to cut out that speaker hole to get her off, but and then cut out around the edge. But I should have put some wax paper down or some parchment paper down before I started stapling. But I got carried away and excited. Just goes to show you, I'm human and I make mistakes. And mistakes are okay. You can clean them up, just like here. A little rubbing alcohol looked after those little drips that I left. So that's it for now. Back at you inside. Okay, pulled the front off. I got my parchment paper down now, and I put a coat on the back. So this will firm up overnight. It takes a couple hours to start to firm up, and sometimes it goes quicker. I got the heat gun. I could push it if I wanted to, but it tends to separate if you push it too much. So we're gonna leave this overnight. Let this get good and hard. We're inside, so we're nice and warm. Heat is the key to making this stuff turn. I put a coat on first, then I laid a sheet of glass down, and then I put some more on. Tomorrow we're gonna have to flip it over, and we're gonna have to put another one on the front once we figure out where our air pockets are and where our most damage is. You can see the little air pockets in there, and we want to fill those up. So we might have to sand from the other side and then put another layer on and get it nice and smooth. But you get the idea how the damage is corrected by this. You can see the broken area that was here on the right-hand side earlier. Now that it's flipped over, it's on the left. But that's where the two pieces were broken. They were also broken down at the bottom here. And then this side was pretty mangled and mushy. And it's still pretty mangled and mushy, but once this is all sanded and dry, it's gonna look really good. Now, what's my secret weapon for making things look pretty, rejuvenating something, keeping the moisture out? If you go back to when, I think it was episode 18, I think it was, or 17, where I showed you how Plasti Dip brings old rubber back to life, guess what we're going to do to the back of this door skin? That's right. We're going to give it a coat of Plasti Dip. So I'll be showing you that tomorrow. We've got some other little repairs to do that I'm going to show you, but I feel good we'll be all back together by tomorrow. Okay, so there's 100 ways to do this. I'm using a cutoff wheel, and I'm just zipping along the edge and following the cardboard line and getting her around the corner. And then I'm just going to give her a quick light sand, and she's going to be ready to go. So, there you go. You get the idea. Well, it's time for our old trusty friend, Plasti Dip. This stuff is amazing. It has so many uses, stuff that you've never even thought about. Today, I'm going to water seal the back of this panel now that I've got it all cut, fiberglassed, and sanded off. So let me spray that and show you what it looks like. Okay, there we go. Sprayed the whole back. I hate shooting black and showing it wet because it just looks like crap, but when this all dries, it'll get a nice matte Plasti Dip finish, and it'll help keep the water out. It definitely rejuvenates the felts along the edge here, keep the rust off them. I didn't go and change this side because it wasn't cracked or broken, and it's going to save me a little bit of money. So just remember, you can't do a restoration without having a can of this handy at all times because it has so many uses. Plasti Dip, probably one of the greatest things I've ever purchased in my all my years of restoring cars. One of my favorite go-to products. So always keep that in mind and keep a can available at all times, because you never know when you're going to need it or when you can use it. It's stuff is amazing. All right, time to get this in the house, get it dry, and get that bottom back together. Okay, so we've got our piece on here, and we're just going along here, and we're stapling. Okay, and we're stapling so that we can punch our holes back through for our trim, and put the trim back on. But because this isn't stiff like carpet, and I don't want to put any glue on it, we're going to go with the staples. It's just a different way of doing it. It's the column way of doing it. All right, so I'm going to keep stapling here, and then we're going to stretch, heat, and curl this edge to get some of these wrinkles out, and pull this around and staple it from behind, and we'll get our chrome in, and we should be good to go. What I forgot to mention earlier was this is not carbon fiber wrap like I put on the other piece. This is synthetic leather made to look like carbon fiber. I don't know what it's called. In my previous life, we called this Robocop. That was the name that we used for it in the goalie industry. I think, if I remember correctly, it's been a long time. So I have a bunch of this stuff lying around in different colors. So I kept the black carbon fiber look for specific jobs like this on cars. So I'm sure you can still get this stuff. you'd have to go hunting for it. Any sort of PU, vinyl or synthetic leather, you should be able to find it where it's got this carbon fiber pattern in it. I hope that comes through. With the reflections and that, it's hard to tell, but it looks just like the wrap. So anyway, let me get at her and then we'll go from there. All right, I gotta go on here and make some holes for these pins to go through. So what I've been doing is I'm using my trusty Ryobi soldering gun. And I just get where it's supposed to go and I give it a little poke. And it goes right through the material and the fiberglass. Just don't breathe this crap in. But anyway, I'm about to put the chrome back on now. I got all my holes punched and we're ready to go. Okay, here's how I do it. I go along and I punch them in. So when I get to this one, I'm just using the back of the stapler here to push down. Where am I here? Right there. And you'll see it pops up and I bend this one to the left. Okay, and then I go to the next one and I bend that one to the right. Now, why do I do that? I do that so that if the piece shifts and they're all bent to the left and it shifts to the right, it'll slide out and pop out. This way, if you alternate them, it won't do that. All right. So if you see here, see we got nice pressure along here, nice and straight, and see it's popping up here because I still got to do this end. So let me finish her up. Okay, here we go. All nice and straight. So all we've got left to do here is a couple things. I'm going to spray. See this felt in here? This is the window felt on the inside of the window. And mine's not cracked or wrecked in any way, but it looks kind of chintzy. So you know what we're gonna do, right? We're gonna spray it with Plasti Dip. We're gonna make it look brand new. I put the wood grain panel back in with the carbon fiber wrap on it. All right, went ahead to finish up and I just want to remind you of what we started with. That's our passenger side door panel. Dirty, wood grained, curled up end that was, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can see it here. Warped, damaged in the corner. Both of these are very similar in their state that they were in. This one's got heavy water damage down here. That's got a big curve in it. And here's where we ended up. We shot some yellow paint into the groove with the black. I was thinking about leaving it black, and but then when the black was screwed up and I had to respray it anyway, I got some yellow and put it in there to match the car. So that's the right color. I did a color match, and we put our carbon fiber look in there. Nice, cleaned everything up. Made sure our armrest was still in good condition. And then put our synthetic leather that shows the same carbon fiber look into the bottom, fixing up the hole. Remember that we flattened it back out. We don't have any curls or curves in the bottom or anything. And we shot a coat of Plasti Dip on the back to clean it up. Fiberglassed along the bottom and cleaned up inside our felt so that we get a good seal to the window. So that's where we're at. Pretty happy with that. Just remember that you've got, this would run you, well, on a website that shall remain nameless. We're $1,600 US. And I think when I washed it out to shipping and conversion and tariffs and everything, it was $2,300 Canadian for 2 new panels. I did this for less than $100. And that's, the fiberglass isn't cheap anymore. The resin and everything else. You used to be able to buy it for like $20 for the whole kit. But to me, that's a restoration to be proud of. It's not a resto mod because I can peel that carbon fiber look and the wood grain's still underneath. I didn't destroy it. I just went over top of it. And then, I can always buy a new carpet for the bottom and put it right back to the way it used to be. But I like this look better. And I think this is going to give us a nice modern clean look inside. And when we put some of the yellow accents and the carbon fiber accents onto the front dash, you're going to see a really cool look. Something that's not overstated, that's subtle, but really modernizes the inside of this car. So that's it. That wraps up this edition. I still have lots of work to do. I have to do the other door panel before I move on. But you get the idea. There's a little bit of wrinkling down here that'll work itself out. I haven't put the heat gun on it proper or anything yet. I might fiddle with I glued this edge over and it's a little wide right there. So I might fiddle with it some more. But for the purposes of the video, we're all done. We're looking mighty fine. I'm pretty proud of that. All right, so next video 23, you're gonna see the promo for it coming up now. It's done already, so you're not gonna have to wait for that one. And they should flow pretty regularly. I'm gonna try and aim for every Friday now. So look forward to having you join me. Until then, get at her, eh? I'd be remiss if I didn't mention how appreciative I am of all of you who watch this channel regularly. People that laughed and thought I was crazy and now support me, and most of all my family. All of you. Ty and Aaron, little baby Lyle, and Mark, Melissa, Mason, Maddie, and Miley. And Miley's very special. I paused there. Every time I think of Miley, my heart just fills. And Morgan, and now Declan. I was still currently part of the family. It's just doing really well. So, that's the direct connection. I have more. Some I don't get to see anymore, and then I have very close friends that have been very supportive, and especially Rick and Tom. At this time of year, after almost 55 years, but you guys mean a lot to me. So I just want to say Merry Christmas to everybody, and most of all, from that lovely, beautiful wife. I know I'm not on my mother-in-law's Christmas list, but my wife is an angel, and I love her to death. So, she truly is an angel. Anybody that saves lives for a living is truly an angel. Okay, so I'm at my first stop of the day. I got to go in and collect parts for people that desperately need them so their cars can go back on the road. So, again, from the bottom of my heart, Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Well, we're certainly getting there. Slowly but surely. Well, you know, this weather thing, I don't like to keep mentioning it, but now we're dealing with an ice storm. You know, somebody said to me, you seem to be really focused on the weather. I'm at the paddock, coming back for day 2. There's the branches broken off somewhere. Well, guess what? We have no power. I'm sitting in the dark. I got no lights, no nothing, no welding, no grinding, no nothing.